Greetings and welcome to this enhanced edition of Manifest Money Mondays. This is your weekly reset to realign your money energy, reconnect with your inner power, and begin your week grounded in clarity, confidence, and prosperity. I'm Lorna, your guide on this journey of reinvention and money manifestation. In this polished replay, you will hear timeless money wisdom, stories that help release old money blocks, and affirmations that elevate your vibration and open the door to your abundance. Now, before we begin, take a deep breath with me. Inhale. And as you breathe in clarity, confidence, and prosperity. And as you breathe out, exhale stress, shame, and struggle. One more time, breathe in clarity, breakthroughs, and prosperity. And as you breathe out, let go of any stress, any shame, any struggle. One more time, breathe in clarity, breakthroughs, and prosperity. And as you breathe out stress, shame, and struggle. And now allow this message, the one with your name written on it, to meet you exactly where you are today. Take only what is yours and leave the rest. Now, I want to take us into a reading from Florence Scovel Shinn, and I've shared before that she is one of my all-time favorite spiritual teachers of all time. And if you have watched the 5 books you must read in 2025, you know what I've shared. But if you haven't, I invite you to check out that video. Florence Scovel Shinn was introduced to me by my very first life coach. And what I learned from Florence Scovel Shinn absolutely changed the way I think about money, and it changed my life because you see, I come from a very, very poor background where I just knew about money stress and money struggle. If you're ready to start rebuilding your relationship with money and step into true financial freedom, I created something just for you. It's called the Money Confidence Blueprint, a 4-step journey that's helped me and hundreds of women increase our income and money confidence. To learn more and join the waitlist, click the link below. Your reinvention isn't complete if your money story stays the same. I also came from a Christian background, and Florence Scovel Shinn uses biblical principles from a metaphysical point of view. So I was able to understand because she was coming from where I was coming from. In other words, from the background of spirituality or Christianity. And so I'm going to be reading a small snippet of something from Florence Scovel Shinn, and I invite you to pay attention to it. So she shares in the game of life and how to play it. She says, and I quote, every great work, every big accomplishment has been brought into manifestation through holding to the vision. And often, just before the big achievement, comes apparent failure and discouragement. I'm going to read that again, just for effect. She says, every great work, every big accomplishment has been brought into manifestation through holding to the vision. I'm going to stop right there to clarify what I understand her to mean by this. Everything, everything that we want in this life, every goal, material goal that we want, that is going to be manifested into our lives. In other words, we don't have it yet, it's to come. it's in the invisible, on the invisible plane. We want to bring it into the visible. We have to use our imagination and hold that vision of what we're attempting to accomplish. That is what I understand her to mean. So she's saying every great work, in order for it to come from the invisible to the visible plane, we need to use our imagination and we need to hold that visualization or that imagination of what we want. She also goes on to say, and often just before the big achievement comes apparent failure and discouragement. And it's true. Sometimes you have a vision for something that is a big thing, you know. It's not the same as, for example, wanting water, because we now have in many of us, or you know, I would say many of us in many parts of the world, we now have, for example, running water. Now, I was born on a farm where we didn't have, and so that could have been something that I held in vision. But we're not visioning at this point anything that is as simple as running water in our homes. We're envisioning for big things in our lives. And she's saying when you have big vision for something to come into your life, in other words, it hasn't manifested yet, sometimes you are met with failure and discouragement just before the thing comes in. So I'm going to share with you, following on that, um, a little bit about my own story. This is the perfect time of year to start creating a vision for what you desire to manifest in your life for 2026 and beyond, including manifesting money. Are you looking to manifest an extra $50,000, $100,000, $150,000 or more? This is the time of year when I typically take the time to reflect, give thanks for what's already been created and manifested, and then set vision and intention for what I want to manifest in my life for the coming year. And I've been blessed to receive my vision many, many times over. But at times, when you have a very big vision and you're asking for something you have never had, life puts you to the test. And just before you experience that big manifestation, it could look like your whole world is falling apart. So I think I shared some aspects of this in Not Too Late to Start Over, the move to Taiwan, but I'm going to give you a little bit more. And if you haven't watched that yet, please feel free to go ahead and check it out. So I'm going to be sharing some of my notes because some things, they're easily forgotten if you don't write them down. So I'm reading from my notes and I will be looking on my notes and looking at you at the same time. So my husband and I had a fairly comfortable life in Florida. And as a real estate investor, I had been holding the vision of us owning properties that were fully paid for. I saw us having no more mortgages, and with no more mortgages, more money in our pockets, and with significant monthly passive income. I was tired of paying thousands of dollars in mortgages. And at that point, we owned some real estate investments. I was managing our Airbnb property, which was bringing in a regular monthly income. He had a job that was paying him a regular monthly income. And so we were expanding our Airbnb property. We were adding an extra unit onto it. And then we decided to get brave. And so we got another property under contract and we thought we had it all together. And within a couple of months, he quit his job. And so we were down one income. And then with him being down with his income being down, we started to have all kinds of problems. Um, our income sources started to dry up. And in that same time frame, the property that we had under contract fell through and we lost a couple $1,000, maybe about close to $10,000 on that deal. On top of that, we were having to come up with money to pay the contractors to do the addition on the additional dwelling unit that we were expanding the Airbnb, right? So that was money coming out of our pocket. So we were paying out more than we were bringing in. And at the same time, that same summer, the Airbnb income dried up. So you can see what was happening. So on every side we turned, it appeared that we were going to go under. We were going under financially. There was no way we were going to make it. So I was concerned, but I wasn't afraid. I just knew that something was going to turn, but we had to make some shifts. And I am somebody who is very confident that God, life, whatever you call that higher power, is always talking to us, is always giving us signs. I'm big on that. So I'm always listening and paying attention to the signs. I wrote down exactly the amount I wanted to manifest on a dream board, and I was listening to my affirmations. I was listening daily to Florence Scovel Shinn and other spiritual teachers to strengthen my faith, and I listened for what I was being guided to do, and I was watching for the signs. And it was in listening and watching for the signs that I got the guidance for us to move to Taiwan. And I will tell you the miracle that occurred in that same time frame. The time, maybe within a week of us making the decision to come to Taiwan, out of the blue, 60 to $100,000 dropped in. We moved at the end of December 2023, and by the end of April, so let's see, January, February, March, April, 4 months later, more than $350,000. By the end of April, more than $350,000 came to us. If you're ready to create a calm, empowered relationship with money, hold a vision for your manifestation, and confidently bring that vision into your reality, the Money Confidence Blueprint is your next step. Click the link below to join the waitlist. Unexpected, from an completely unexpected source. And what this allowed us to do in that time was to pay off the mortgages on the properties. It allowed us to own the properties free and clear. It allowed us to own the properties free and clear. It allowed us to not have to be paying out the thousands of dollars that we were paying in mortgages. And as a result of that, we have now created passive income that is about 4 times what we had before, because now the properties are completely rented out on a long-term basis. The vision that I had of owning the properties that are fully paid for has been realized. That was in my imagination. And I didn't tell anybody about it, because telling people your stuff, that's one of my other pieces. When you tell people what you're going to do, they try to tell you how it can't work. So I don't get into that with people. Silence is my code. I keep stuff to myself, and I work on it in the darkness, in the silence, in the invisible, and I allow that to manifest. And when it takes shape, it can be seen and known. There can be, it's no longer going to be hidden. I can choose to hide it if I want, but it's there. There is evidence of it, right? So I'm sharing that with you. That's another piece of wisdom. So my vision of owning the properties free and clear, mortgages fully paid off, was realized. The vision of no longer having to pay out monthly on these properties was realized. The vision of significant passive income has been realized beyond my wildest imagination. And so for that, I am incredibly grateful. And more than that, I continue to manifest money on a regular basis. And the reason for that, I'm in tune with the energy of money.
If you're feeling called to go deeper into money as a form of spiritual energy, the Money Confidence Blueprint is available to guide you step by step. Join the waitlist at the link in the description below.
So I want to say to you, hold your vision. Hold your vision. Hold your vision. This lesson taught me that money responds to confidence, clarity, and faith, not to fear, to stress and struggle. I'm going to say that again because that's important. Hold your vision. Hold in your imagination what it is that you want. A lot of us, we are attempting to create something, but we are in a lot of fear about it. And when you're in fear, you repel it. So hold on to your vision and be in a state of confidence, because the lesson I learned is that money responds to confidence, clarity, and faith, not to stress, not to struggle, and not to fear. Because truth is, money is like the air that we breathe. It's energy. And another piece that I think is important, which as I'm speaking on it, it's dropping into my consciousness. Sometimes the place of blessing, the place where you are right now, is a place that once was the place that held money for you, or abundance or prosperity for you. But what if it no longer holds prosperity or abundance for you, or a blessing for you, and you're being guided to step out? Take a look and assess and determine, because sometimes the place of blessing or favor or prosperity moves, and you have to be flexible enough to move with it. And if you're listening to what is coming and you're watching for the signs, you know, because I will tell you that for about 10 years, we were being blessed where we were in Florida. Yeah. But it was very clear when we got to where we got to that it was time to move on. So I'm sharing that with you to say, don't get attached to the place or the location where you are. Sometimes God, life, source, the universe, whatever you call the God of your understanding, is prompting you to get up and move, because there is a blessing, a miracle, a breakthrough, a manifestation, a huge thing waiting for you. But if you stick around where you are, it may not come. And you may find that your energy is more in a state of struggle than it needs to be, because you are not open, you're not willing to listen. And that state of struggle keeps money away. So if you're finding that you're constantly struggling with money, be mindful that money responds to energy. Money responds to your confidence, your clarity, your willingness, your openness, your receptivity, and your faith. It doesn't respond to fear. And a lot of us, when we are seeking it, we are in a state of, I need it, I need it, I need it, please. And we are begging, and money, the energy of money is not like that. The energy of money, it runs from you when you are in that state of desperation. It doesn't flow to you. So if you find yourself just struggling with it, observe, are you desperate for it? Or are you in a state of confidence about it? Observe your vibration, observe your energy around it. I hope that makes sense. And if you are in a state of desperation about it, You may find that instead of it running toward you, you're trying to grab it and it's running away from you. It doesn't stick. It doesn't stick. But when you are aligned, when you're in a state of peace and in a state of confidence, and you know without the shadow of a doubt that it's supposed to come, and you're not worried. You're not even worried. You're just like, okay, thank you. Thank you, God. I'm waiting. I'm still waiting, God. Thank you. And I'm trusting you and I'm believing you. And even if everybody around me seems to think I'm a fool, I am trusting that what you have promised is here. I'm trusting that it's here. So now I want to share some affirmations. Here are some affirmations that I want to share with you, and I want you to repeat them with me. I release fear and step into faith. I release fear and step into faith. I am open to new ways money will show up in my life. As I hold my vision, I welcome money in expected and unexpected ways. I'm going to repeat that. I release fear and step into faith. I am open to new ways money will show up in my life. As I hold my vision, I welcome money in expected and unexpected ways. One more time. I release fear and step into faith. I am open to new ways money will show up in my life. As I hold my vision, I welcome money in expected and unexpected ways. The need to have, when you're coming from neediness, it's a different thing than when you're coming from openness, confidence, and receptivity to money. And as I said, when you're coming from a state of desperation, it results in repelling money, where money runs away from you. On the other hand, when you are confident, when you are clear, and when you have this sense of openness to receiving, and you recognize it doesn't have to be tied to a paycheck, that it can come from wherever. God can work through people, and God works through people all the time. You can receive unexpected gifts, right? You can receive a refund. It can come in so many ways. You could receive a windfall where all of a sudden, there's some money that was left in an estate for you. You didn't plan on it, you didn't expect it, but all of a sudden it's yours. That's a whole different story, isn't it? And so you're not trying to grasp and hang on. You recognize that the universe is abundant and that money, the energy of money, is like the air that you breathe. It's there, and you breathe it in and you breathe it out. That's right, right. So it comes, it flows in, and it flows out. And if you can allow it to circulate, it comes back to you in multiple ways. It comes back multiplied, and there are ways that you can affirm that, whether through a song or through affirmations or through readings, like the Florence Scovel Shinn readings. They're a big part of my own, my regular practice. There are so many ways that you can allow that to be part of your story. So I just shared the affirmations, and I had shared my own money story of how it feels like the blessing that God had commanded for us was no longer where we were, right? We saw where money channels dried up, money avenues just started to close on us. And we came to a point where I knew we needed to do something else. And by doing something else, money started to manifest out of thin air, out of the blue from different areas. And it's just allowed us to become more prosperous in our new home. And so I am closing, but I want to share something with you. I don't know what your money situation is, and I don't have to know. But if you are looking for a sign that money is on the way to you, this is it. This is your sign. You don't need to know how it's going to happen, but just don't get trapped by the how. Trust in the God of your understanding, the source, the universe, the all that is, who owns it all. I'm going to repeat that. I don't know what your money situation is, but I don't need to know because I trust the God of my understanding. And if you are connected with the God of your understanding, who owns everything, then know that it's going to happen. Don't get tripped up by the how. Trust and have faith in the God of your understanding. As you enter this new week, I want you to remember this. You are always one aligned thought, one brave decision, one faith filled moment away from a powerful manifestation. Hold your vision, listen for what Spirit is inviting you to do, and do it. See it, feel it, and know it that even when you don't know the how, even when you don't see it with your physical eyes, even when it looks like it's not happening in the physical, money is making its way toward you, and it's happening right now. Money is making its way toward you, and it's happening right now. Well, thank you again for sharing this first Manifest Money Monday with me. And if this session resonates in any way, share with those around you and leave me a comment. I look forward to reading it. Until next week, expect money miracles, money manifestations, and amazing money breakthroughs. And I will see you on the next one. Bye for now. Bye bye. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And bye for now.